Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News in Motion. Today is Thursday, May 25th, 2023. It is our Friday Eve. We are going to have some fun here today, but we also are going to inform you about some headline news, but we are going to have fun today. We have Miss Gail Dudley, of course. We also have our youth ambassador, Miss Lexi Williams, coming in with her own special report. We also are going to be talking about the upcoming Memorial Day holiday, the importance of it, and what you can do to celebrate it with family and friends. For those of you who are tuning in through audio and podcast, we just want to say thank you for turning your dials to Hot 97 News in Motion. We got some special music on the rotation coming up for you. A little something to celebrate Throwback Thursday. As I see y'all coming in here live on YouTube and on Facebook as well. Be sure to share this with a couple of friends. Be sure to like. Be sure to tell us what you have planned for the weekend and what you plan on doing for Memorial Day. We're going to have some fun. Also want to give a shout out to Mr. Marty Marr for holding it down on the radio waves. He told me he wanted to give a shout out to his girl Gina, his homeboys Tommy and Cole, and Pam, even though she escaped from the barn, you still want to give a shout out to her. So with that being said, you know what we do here. Let's go get some news in motion. Let's have some fun, y'all.
What's up, everyone? This is Gail Dudley, and as Isaiah said, it is time for News in Motion. It was a rough start this morning, y'all. I have the young people in the room, and they doing what they do. You just got to have some patience. But I love their creativity. I love where they're going. We were trying to get some images that Lexi built for us. Amazing. We'll at least see one of those today. But it's just fun. It's just fun to see. Here I am at almost 58, and I'm like, come on, let's roll this over. But they are on the case. They are on the case. So I see you, Lori Williams Wallace. I see you, Marion Jackson, Deborah Johnson, Dr. Antoinette, Tracy Burrs, Hester Jackson. Everyone else, just come on in the room, y'all. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Let me see if I'm missing anybody here. I see Shirley Nicholson coming in here as well. Let's see. If you are watching on Facebook, you may see some decreased numbers, but don't let that hurt you at all. Just come on over to YouTube because we have a mix here that's happening. I see you, Robert Holman. We see that sometimes Facebook tries to, what is that called, Isaiah? Shadow ban us because we've been talking about YouTube, so they're not getting it out there to the rest of you. I see my brother coming in here. I see Yvonne Gardner coming in here this morning as well. But I love to see the diversity of the different platforms. And the moment I said that, more of you are coming in here. Do us a favor. I see you, Kim Edmondson. Do us a favor, y'all. Hit that to get that algorithm going. Hit the share button. So hit either the like, the alert, the bell, whatever it is to get that algorithm going. We would greatly appreciate it. Hit that heart. Hit those thumbs up. Hit the laughing sign, hit the anger sign if you want to. And to everyone out here on the podcast, we want to say good morning to you as well. If you're happening to listen to the replay, we're so glad you allowed us just a portion of your day to hang out with us. All right, y'all, or shall I say you allow me to hang out with you? How about that? All right, y'all. A bit of sad news. We have one of our faithful viewers, Dr. Annette Jackson. Her husband passed away on yesterday. I see you, Latrice Jones. Her husband, Marcus O. Jackson, passed away on yesterday. So, y'all, the announcement reads, it is with great sadness that we announce the passing of Elder Marcus O. Jackson on May the 23rd, 2023 in Columbus, Ohio. Elder Jackson served as the founding member and eventual co-pastor of the Church of Columbus from 2010 to 2021, a member of Triumphant Christian Center Church under the leadership of Apostle Juan Woods. He was a giant among men, a fierce warrior, and a true worshiper. He had a passion for service. The Church of Columbus and the entire One Church movement family will always cherish the memories of this ultimate warrior, worshiper, and beloved leader in the kingdom. So, y'all, want us to make sure we are showing love to Dr. Annette Jackson. Again, she's a faithful viewer. If she doesn't come on live, she's always catching a replay and always coming into the chat, making comments. Let's lift her up during this time. She inboxed me yesterday. I reached out. I said if there was anything that the News in Motion family can do for her, to please let us know. And she said she would. But in the meantime, if we can just shower her with love, with notes of condolences and so forth, you can find her on her Facebook page or inbox her or send her a card. Deborah, I know you're on here. Deborah Johnson. If y'all need to order cards, Deborah Johnson makes some amazing, unique cards. Just reach out to her. So thank y'all for lifting her up. All right, y'all, another news today, and I want to read this straight from the White House. I'm reading it from the White House briefing room. It says, for immediate release, statement from President Biden on the 3rd anniversary of George Floyd's murder. The day before her father's funeral, George Floyd's young daughter, Gianna, told me, "Daddy changed the world." 3 years after her father's murder, my answer to Gianna remains the same. He has. George Floyd's murder exposed for many what Black and Brown communities have long known and experienced, that we must make a whole of society commitment to ensure that our nation lives up to its founding promises of fair and impartial justice for all under the law. The injustice on display for the world to see sparked one of the largest civil rights movements in generations, with calls from all corners to acknowledge and address the challenges in our criminal justice system and in our institutions more broadly. A year ago today, Kamala and I stood next to the family of George Floyd, civil rights leader and law enforcement officers, to sign my executive order, which applies key elements of the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act to federal law enforcement, banning chokeholds, restricting no-knock warrants, establishing a database for police misconduct, and other measures to advance effective and accountable policing that builds public trust and increases public safety. Across our administration, we have made significant progress in fulfilling the requirements of my executive order, making policing safer, more equitable, and more effective. Yes, y'all, I'm reading the whole thing because it's George Floyd. And it's coming from the White House. But we know that implementing real and lasting change at the state and local levels require Congress to act. I urge Congress to enact meaningful police reform and send it to my desk. I will sign it. I will continue to do everything in my power to fight for police accountability in Congress, and I remain willing to work with Republicans and Democrats alike on genuine solutions. Equal justice is a covenant we each have with one another. Today, 3 years after George Floyd's murder, let us build on the progress we have made thus far and recommit to the work we must continue to do every day to change hearts and minds as well as laws and policies. As a nation, may we ensure that George Floyd's legacy and the legacy of so many others we also honor every day are not solely about their deaths, but about what we do to honor their memory. And again, this is from the White House. I wanted to read that in its entirety. And that even gives me a call to say, here's another opportunity to write your lawmakers, the legislators, both local, state, and federal, to get this to the desk to be signed. We see even today that things like this are continuously happening. We may not hear about them as much. There's been different laws about you can't take close-up videos anymore. The police will block you or people will block you. But let's do our part by calling our legislators to make sure there's something that is passed sooner than later. All right, y'all. In the news, we also have our beloved Tina Turner, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icon, died in her home in Switzerland after a long illness. According to a statement on her official social media accounts, throughout her career, Tina Turner's life was one of musical greatness and personal trauma. as she fled an abusive relationship with her musical mentor and first husband. To achieve unlikely pop stardom in the 80s with What's Love Got to Do with It. I can remember getting up early on Saturday morning because my mom would not let us sleep to clean the house, and my mom would have her music, Tina Turner's music, playing. It was an album that was placed on the record player. Some of y'all don't know anything about that. And that music would just blast throughout the home while we were cleaning our rooms, the kitchen, the living room. I mean, and y'all wasn't just surface clean, it was the baseboards and the cobwebs and vacuuming and moving furniture to clean. This was every Saturday morning. So we just want to just give her just her in this memory, just honor and recognition as she should. All right, y'all. There was a struggle to launch. Uh, it was hilarious because I was online. I got kicked off a few times trying to get what was happening. But Florida Governor's Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign kind of kicked off on yesterday when his announcement event on Twitter was just inundated with all types of technical difficulties, glitch. They had every excuse in the world. They were saying at one point it was 400,000 people, it was 500,000 people. Well, Twitter holds millions of people. So why this was difficult yesterday, we have no idea. But they persisted for more than almost 20 minutes before the governor of Florida was able to deliver his speech and to participate in a question and answer time. But it was so rocky. And even still, right about when it was time for the technical difficulties to fade, the Tina Turner passing came out. So people truly left that and went to their own platforms to talk about Tina Turner. So it was very interesting. I said, what a start to launch your campaign. And of course, the former guy is already riding his coattail. But the best tweet of them all yesterday, the best tweet of them all, y'all can talk about Joe Biden if you want to, but Joe Biden was going after Ron DeSantis with his link to give money. And all he said on his tweet was, "This link works." I mean, it took number one in trending. He raised, I don't know, several $1,000,000 yesterday with that link. I was just like, well, there you go. And they said it was Joe Biden himself who did that tweet. So, hey, y'all say what y'all want to. Now, just a sneak peek looking into next week. I'm currently working on a child labor segment for next week. Y'all, state lawmakers, mostly Republicans, this should be very troubling for you. They want to loosen child labor laws to fill labor shortages, even in bars and on school nights. Y'all heard me say that correctly. AP has a story that they're building because this is coming forward. NPR has a story. When I received some of the press releases yesterday of news that's happening and what people are working on, my eyes went directly to that. Y'all, the legislators are using the argument that relaxing child labor laws could ease nationwide labor shortages. Like, what the what? And I want you all to know there's about 10 states, and what bothered me was Ohio is among those states. I was like, what? We doing what? That opens up for me, and I'm just going to give you a sneak peek of what I'm working on. That opened up for me this whole human trafficking piece. It also opened up for me this whole food insecurity piece of how they're going to use children. It also opened up for me homelessness, and I believe all these dots connect, and we need to be very concerned with what's coming forward. Y'all, this is not the time to sleep. We need to pay attention to what's actually going on in and around us. We need to start asking our legislators right now, help me understand why you want to loosen child labor laws to get people to work. I thought that's why you created AI. AI is taking all the other jobs, the jobs that are giving higher salaries to people. So you're going to stick with minimum wage, which you have not raised, and you wanted to loosen child labor laws to do this. No, there's something wrong with this. Dr. Antoinette said, for the children snatched from their parents at the border. There's that. We also have Florida, y'all. Don't miss this. Don't sleep on this. In Florida, they do not have people to work in the farms. They do not have the people to work in the areas because of the laws that the governor signed into place, saying that, this whole immigration law, the border law, all of that. So I'm trying to pull all of this together to give you a sound segment. It may only be one segment that we do that day, but we need to get a greater understanding of what's going on. I know you all are sick of me having these conversations, but this is not the time to get sick of me or the time that you want to turn your head to what's really going on, y'all. We have to pay attention to this because it all connects. It all connects. I want y'all to hear me. It all connects. And we should not be voting in lawmakers who will make these types of decisions. So not only do you want to control women's bodies, now you want to control what children can or cannot do. And if you have a need, yeah, that's where I'm going, y'all. If you have a need, you want to change the law to fit your need. Make it make sense. No, y'all, we have to keep raising our voices behind this. We have to make sure we are registered to vote. We also have to participate in the voting. We may laugh at the technical difficulties with Ron DeSantis. We may laugh about that on Twitter and how Elon Musk did the announcement alongside him. We may laugh at that, but underneath our laughing with everything that happened, why him? Why did he decide to announce his run on the day that he decided to announce his run? And let's look at the policies that he has implemented. Let's look at the dictatorship of Ron DeSantis and ask the question, do we want him leading the country? The other thing I want to say about this, because I've been careful not to say so much, but I'm looking at this saying, is this somewhat a partnership with the former guy and Ron DeSantis? Is this being done on purpose? Because we know Ron DeSantis will more than likely not get in, so it'll go back to the former guy. Y'all, these are the kind of questions I ask. Seriously, I don't put anything past politicians today. Not one thing. I don't do it. So we cannot ignore that, you all. So child labor laws, 10 states are wanting to loosen the laws to have children working at least 9, 10, 11 p.m. at night. And that's including school nights and also working in bars. Y'all, this is what's happening. And we have to pay attention. I wish there was a way that we can get beyond all the smoke and get down to the root of what's happening within our country. I'm trying to figure out how I can start writing some, like, even headline laws of things we need to be focused on and getting those to you. I'm trying to figure out how to do that with the capacity that I have to do it and the resources that I'm able to do it, because I want this information in the hands of all of us so that we can effectively have conversations with other people starting this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Now, I won't have this information for you by this weekend, but y'all, these are the conversations we need to be having, because I can't help it, y'all. They want to loosen the child labor laws, and 10 states are signing on with this. In Ohio, Wisconsin's another one. Ohio is on it. Dr. Antoinette says, thank you. The only reason I pause over the idea of a partnership is their egos. There's that too. There's that too. So y'all, we need to pay attention to this. So here's what else is happening. And I want y'all to pay attention. It's not even close. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said Republicans remain far apart with the White House on a deal to raise the debt ceiling and signaled his caucus won't make any policy concessions to Democrats other than the action to avoid a first ever default. Y'all, first ever default. Negotiators for both the House of Republicans and President Joe Biden met again on yesterday afternoon at the White House to continue this conversation. Y'all, this debt, don't forget, X day or June 1st, whichever one they decide is going to happen, unless the debt ceiling is raised. Many people there's now 66 Democrats that are calling for President Joe Biden to invoke the 14th Amendment. Some of you are probably saying, well, what exactly is the 14th Amendment? Well, let me go to the clause that they're talking about where they can invoke the 14th Amendment, where he can invoke the 14th Amendment. It's Section 4. It says the validity of the public debt of the United States authorized by law, including debts incurred for payments of pension and bounties for services in suppressing insurrections or rebellion shall not be questioned. That's where they're going. And there's former judges, lawyers, so forth, saying he needs to invoke the 14th Amendment. Now, here's the problem that I have with McCarthy. He says, and I quote, there are a number of places that we're still far apart. Y'all, those number of places that they say that they're still far apart, or what I've been reading to you this week. Medicare, Medicaid, Affordable Care Act, Veterans Affairs, student loan payments, and other programs, including feeding children. They're still far apart. And then he says in a quote, and I had to keep rewinding that to make sure I really heard him correctly. Y'all, this man, who is the Speaker of the House after 15 votes in January, says in a quote, I mean, it didn't seem like it would be this hard. Well, what'd you sign up for? Disney World to get people on and off of rides? What do you mean you didn't think this was going to be this hard? This is the job you wanted for, the job you fought for, the job that you went 15 votes for. Yes, this is not an easy feat. This is a difficult job. You need to be able to be the major negotiator to get to the center of what's on the table. He also says, in a quote, I think we can make progress. I'm hoping we can make progress. I'm not going to give up. Are you kidding me right now? This is how you answer the journalists who are saying, what do we do next? And how do we get there? Yeah, but then you have McCarthy, who's having a challenge with his own caucus, and that is what we call the House Freedom Caucus, who held up the vote for 15 times. He's urging Republicans to hold the line. He said, we got to stay unified. We're going to hold the line. We're going to stick together. We're going to cut all these things. The Democrats want to come. And I heard this directly from my own ears. And this is Representative Chip Roy of where? Texas. He's like, we holding the line. And then they're threatening him, being McCarthy, that if you don't hold the line, we're going to get you out of speaker. Well, hello, McCarthy. Remember, the Democrats already said, just go ahead and vote. Keep our payments going. They were going to back you to keep you in as speaker. They said they're going to sign the paper for you, but you can't do that. That's what you do when you sell your soul. When you sell your soul, you can't do anything because you sold your soul. So that's where you are. I hope it's working out okay for you, McCarthy. We have Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who said that invoking the 14th Amendment should be on the table right now. We have Representative Jamie Raskin, Democrat, Maryland, said that it's a clear constitutional command, invoke the 14th Amendment. We also have Representative Jim Clyburn, Democrat, South Carolina, called on Biden to what? Invoke the 14th Amendment. He goes on with a quote and says, he hopes that the president will take the executive action if the House refuses to do its job. We have 11 Senate Democrats. You have 66 in the House and 11 in the Senate that are calling on Biden to invoke the 14th. That goes with Senator Tina Smith, Bernie Sanders, Ed Markey, which I talked about that before, Jeff Markey, two different people, and Elizabeth Warren. So, but you have Joe Biden, who's being politically correct, saying using this authority would allow the United States to continue to pay its bills on time without delay, preventing a global economic catastrophe. He says, but let's talk about this. So a lot is on the table, y'all. A lot is on the table with this. Won't they invoke the 14th Amendment? We don't know. There's a showdown. You have the House Republicans saying, hold the line. That's the House Freedom Caucus. Understand, y'all, don't take my word for it. Go and look this up. Go and look up, well, who's the House Freedom Caucus? You will see who they are. You will see their plays, how they're playing, what they're doing, their background. Y'all, some of their background should concern you because they're the ones who are running this country. Okay, so check that out. So then you also have child labor laws and how they wanting to loosen that. And those are all mostly Republicans who want to loosen the child labor laws. So you have that's happening on that end. You have a lot that's popping off in Florida. You have the whole immigrant immigration bill that was signed into law. You also have the piece I shared with you yesterday that the Chinese people are suing the state of Florida because they're saying they can't buy certain properties. Say what? This is 2023 and you're telling people that they can't buy property? Are you kidding me right now? Y'all, I hope you are paying attention to all the news that we are giving you. It's been a lot this week. And before I wrap up and turn it over to Lexi and Isaiah, y'all want us to do our part this weekend. Disney returns to live action takes of their animated vault to the fullest theater form happening this week with Rob Marshall's The Little Mermaid, which is eyeing $180 million worldwide start. If you cannot make it to the movies, buy a ticket online so that we can help send Little Mermaid above anything that they thought. We're going to bust this $180 million. If you can't go, just buy a ticket. Go online, your local spot, buy a ticket. Make sure the ticket reads Little Mermaid. That is just as important. That's the opening that's happening this weekend. Kenya. She's not on here. She comes on other platforms. Sometimes she's on the podcast platform. She and I are in conversations of how we're going to roll out the Color Purple remake. So she reached out to me and said, come on, Gail, this is a News in Motion thing. So just pray for us. We'll see where we're going with it and how we're going to do it. So that could be coming. It's Christmas time, though. That could be coming as well. All right, with that, Lexi, come on in the room. Lexi, come on in the room. I had to remember who was next. Lexi, how was your school year?
It was good. It was really good. You know, I'm a junior now. I'm an upperclassman. You know,
congratulations! Congratulations! That is so great. I'm just glad to have you back as we're building up to the Young People Takeover in July. I'm not going to chit chat with you long, so I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. But of course, good morning, everybody. Good morning, News in Motion family. Hello, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. What's up? We see you. Hi, my name is Lexi Williams. I am your youth ambassador and your special reporter on today. And today we will be talking about the ups and downs of social media, the truth from the youth. I'll say if you can put my graph up there. Thank you. So the evidence from today's story will be coming from theguardian.com. So why should we care about social media? And now more than ever, what effect can social media have on you and your kids? Well, according to U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy, we should be taking immediate action to protect our youth's mental health. There are negative and positive sides to the use of social media, right? So we need to just be more aware of what is being put in front of us and how it affects us on a day-to-day basis. In quotations, the Surgeon General's warning came as the White House put on its notice on Tuesday about what it called the unprecedented youth mental health crisis. In the U.S., the number of children and adolescents dealing with depression and anxiety had risen almost 30% in recent years, with the social media as a clear factor. So the question for you all, as I continue, do you think COVID-19 has had an effect on the youth's mental health, or even yours? Do you think social media plays a role in the aftermath? So later within the article, the surgeon research revealed some concerning numbers. His advisory underlined to the critical nature of adolescence and the development of the human brain, which leaves kids 10 to 19 highly vulnerable to peer pressure. It is within these years that an individual's sense of self-worth is formed, and when mental health challenges, such as depression, often emerge. Later, he continues to say, excessive social media use, which can result in compulsive or uncontrollable behavior, can lead to sleep problems, which in turn will alter the neurological development of the adolescent's brain. So after all of the social media's negative being brought to light, there actually happens to be some positive sides. Accessing these apps does have positive benefits, Murthy says, including providing community and connection with others who share similar interests or identity. This can be particularly valuable for LGBTQ+ youth who can easily find each other. I can agree with this to the fact that social media can provide a community feeling. Whether it be a culture or religion, you can always find something for you. The article later described 7 out of 10 adolescent girls of color said they found positive and affirming contact this way. So even through all the negativity, there's always a small light that can make a difference. So my take on this. So overall, my take on this social media is it's a complex world that we all need to be careful with. Speaking in general terms, we need to watch how much time we're spending on social media because ultimately it affects our social and emotional health. It affects our day-to-day decisions, and I can speak from experience. I'm considered to be a part of Generation Z, so I grew up with social media always being around. Generation X and Millennials watched it happen, whatever. Yeah, Gen Z is the best. We're not going to talk about y'all too much, though. I think it's a good thing that it's finally being brought to light, but if we're I think it's a good thing that it's finally being brought to light, but if we're going to take away or even ban social media, we need to find other ways that the youth can find positive inspirations rather than just taking these apps away from them. So things you can do as a parent. Start taking the time to read terms and conditions. I said this the other day when Auntie Gail was talking. I promise you, the terms and conditions are so freaking important. It is like the contract to your house. It has all the information that you need to know. Second, look into parental controls. Apps like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter have controls to help with limitations on your child's apps. Instagram is taking the extra step to help you see who your child is following and who follows them or who tries to. Third, and I think the most important, is have a conversation with your kids. Talk to them about the positive and negative sides of social media. Show them that there are different ways to use your time. Just spend time with them, but involve them in other things that can be inspiring so their apps aren't the only way that they feel connected to a community of their own. Find out what they're interested in. Just have positive conversations. And now, what you've all been waiting for, your national days. I know a lot of the females out there, the men too, I'm not going to judge them, but today is National Chardonnay Day. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. National Cody, Enzo, and George Day, to shout out to the Cody, the Enzos, and the George. Woo woo, it's your day, boo. National Sing Out Day, okay, for singers like myself. All right. National Global Africa Day. International Week of Solidarity with the Peoples of Non-Self-Governing Territories. National Missing Children's Day. National Towel Day. Listen, thank God for a good towel, because without it, where would I be, really? We got to give a shout out to the towels. It's National Brown Bag Day. Adults, I know how y'all feel about your brown bags. Back in the day, take you back a little bit, okay? And then, my mother's favorite, National Wine Day. Yep, I called y'all out. But I say you can come on in here, the National Wine Day. My aunties and all of them gonna be celebrating. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, okay?
The National Wine Day, for real?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I can't, but I know my mom happy about that.
They gonna celebrate sometime today.
Man, listen.
Look, let me come in here as the adult to say National Wine Day. How about that?
I'm pretty sure either my sister or my mom has a glass that says wine not. So
I guess, you know what? That's your business. That's your business.
I want to just pick up where it goes to you, Isaiah. National Missing Children's Day. When you said that, I immediately thought about this whole loosening the child labor law. That title alone says we cannot be loosening that law. But that's enough about me. I'm giving it back to you all, because everybody's popping in. Kim Edmondson's talking about National Wine Day. So I'm going to just let y'all have it. I figured the adult, I better come in here and talk about that.
Right,
all right, y'all take it back over.
But yeah, for sure. The National Brown Bag Day, we see you all. Had to carry the little brown bag. I remember having a little sticker on mine. My mom used to decorate mine. See, I was special and all the things. I came to school, everybody loved my brown bag. You couldn't tell me nothing.
Okay? I know nothing about them brown bags. Maybe. I don't know, man. I ain't never paid too much attention to the brown bags, for real.
You need to get on. You need to hop on.
Nah, but I love it when you do your national days. And just to give a little bit of sports headlines real quick. Today, y'all, we have Game 5 in the NBA series between the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. I'm going to need the Miami Heat to just go ahead and put this thing away. I understand that they trying to, they following the script. They following, the NBA script and all that. But it's time to put this thing away. All right, it's basically gonna be the Nuggets and the Heat. So I'm gonna need Jimmy Butler to hurry up, put that work in so he can get his ring. All right, so let's finish this up in Boston, rest up, and let's go beat the Nuggets. All right, but with that being said, we also have an important holiday coming up. we have Memorial Day coming up. So, Lexi, I know you had talked about the importance of social media, and actually, my inspirational message actually ties in with that as well. But right now, we just want to talk about the importance of Memorial Day, where it started from, and why we celebrate it. So, Memorial Day is basically a day where we remember those who gave their life fighting for our country. Um, it originated in 1971, and then it became a holiday where people decorated fallen soldiers' graves with flowers, flags, and red, white, and blue wreaths. And usually on this day, businesses close. Not relatives, residents flew their flags at halfway point to in memorial of those who fought for this country. Now, in terms of food, Lexi, I'm what's some foods that you usually eat at the cookouts, or you say, let's just say you have a couple people coming over, what you expecting to be on the menu?
I mean, anything you're gonna find at the black cookout, but
True.
let me see. You get some brats, some hamburgers, oh
Mm-hmm.
boy, some hot dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
For the
boy.
kids, of course.
Of course, for the kids, for the regulars,
Okay, exactly.
they ain't got that
Give
life.
them a little Capri Sun and whatnot.
Right, the Capri Suns, okay.
Why the grown folks had the ribs and whatnot. Yeah.
Right, that the fall off the bone rib.
Oh yeah. Some
Careful.
brisket. Come on
Okay.
now, gotta have the brisket.
Oh, you have to. Oh God,
Mm.
everything barbecue. Really, just anything barbecue. All of the meat, just put it all
And
in
they
there.
and can't forget the sides. You got your mac and cheese.
For sure. Now,
The what?
everybody's mac and cheese don't taste right. So if you know your mac and cheese, don't let your friends lie to you. I want the full honest truth. Don't sit here and try to bring some mac and cheese and it's just nasty. You see why you got the whole pan full. You got to go back home because ain't nobody want it. That's a sign. Take it as a sign. Miracle signs and wonders. That is your sign, honey. I promise you. No shade here, but just say it.
No shade at all. No shade at all. We also see that on Memorial Day it will be Miss Lori's birthday, so we just want to give you a early happy birthday wish for that as well. May you, however many laps around the sun, may you have more life and more blessings. So we just want to send you an early happy birthday. Y'all know how we do it. We would sing, but that's we don't know if we're gonna be in tune, but I know here we in tune, but just early happy birthday to you, Miss Lori. Don't bring store-bought mac and cheese. No, don't bring that.
Speak on it. I'm so glad y'all are woke like me, because let me tell you, I am a mac and cheese, like I'm very picky. My mother will tell you I'm so picky with mac and cheese. I only eat hers, and I know it's a shame. Sometimes I don't even eat my grandma's. I know everybody loves grandma mac and cheese. I'm very picky about how don't judge me.
And I say that's where
that's my truth
from, man.
And you know what? I stand in my
The
truth.
generational, the passing of the torch.
My other cousin's going to take the passing of the torch because this torch will be rejected. They will be glad. I will, with respect to with my grandmother, I will take her German chocolate cake. I will take her peach cobbler. I will take. Oh gosh, what else does she make? Her sweet potato souffle. I will take all those things because I'm the baker out of the rest of the cousins. So still, I will take all the good things, but they can have the mac and cheese. Yeah, my dad can make it. He can do something.
It's when you said peach cobbler, I felt like that hyena off Lion King. Like peach cobbler. Ooh,
careful.
Peach cobbler. Ooh.
My mom just made some peach cobbler, and I'm really craving it right now. Wink, wink.
And also, this is a good dessert to do for Memorial Day too. What we do, this is what we used to do in my family. We used to get strawberries, blueberries, and I think whipped cream, and we would get it on like some strawberry shortbread or like some strawberry shortcake, and like we would put it all together to like kind of make a shortbread type of like red, white, and blue type of cake. So yeah, the thing, it was delicious too.
Oh my God, you reminded me. Like my mom makes this white chocolate, like I forget, white chocolate cake or something, and she decorates it like every year with like the blueberries and strawberries, the red and the blue on the flag, and like Oh my God, Mom, what is it called? Please drop it in the top
I'm about to
comments.
say, I know she in here. Hey,
Right,
also
she's in
Auntie,
here. I really can't think of what it's called.
tell
But
her to save me a slice. I'll come by.
listen, if she makes it again, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to throw down. We really gonna
Ooh,
have to.
banana pudding. You can't go wrong with banana pudding.
If you go wrong with banana pudding, get out the kitchen. Get out the kitchen. You don't need to be in the kitchen. Banana pudding,
especially if it's cold, especially when it's cold too.
Oh, you're
best
cold
kind. That's the best kind. When it's cold.
Okay, News and Motion family. Here's the truth. Here's the truth. Cold or hot or
cold
warm
hot.
with ice cream. However you put it in the comments right now.
What was the question?
If you like your banana pudding cold or banana pudding pop.
Cold.
Or in between.
I'm team cold. I need a thing cold. I need to feel the crunch of the cookie, the smooth creaminess of the banana and like the cream. I need that thing cold. I need it cold. Don't give it to me warm. Don't give it to me hot. Don't give it to me lukewarm. All right. Don't do none of that. No.
See, I'm gonna take
cold.
The
see cold and the next day. See y'all get it. I'll keep seeing cold. Lexi just said get out the kitchen.
I did.
Listen, us young people, we gonna be honest with y'all. We will.
Your feelings gonna get hurt. It's okay though. It's all right.
See, everybody agreeing. Cold banana pudding just tastes the best.
See, it depends on the day. If I want cold that day, then sure. If I'm feeling warm that day, maybe a little bit. Like, see, in the wintertime, it's better for me to have warm banana pudding. And then in the summertime, I'm going to easily take a cold banana. See, it's just like a seasonal thing for me. Like, it depends. I like both.
Warm banana pudding. But anyway, Miss Shirley Nicholson says, yes, important holiday. Thank you to all those who have served for your services. Another holiday, my 73rd birthday. We just wanted to give you another birthday shout out. A lot of people have a lot of May birthdays. It's a popular month. So happy early birthday to you, Miss Shirley Nicholson. Bread pudding and white chocolate lasagna.
White chocolate lasagna. That's what it's called. White chocolate lasagna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's so good.
I say I ain't never heard that. I'll try that though. I'll say I'll get me a slice.
I gotta get you some. I'll see you Saturday. I gotta get you some.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, with this being said, I finally found the title for our inspirational message. And Lexi, if you want to bounce off of me, you can. But the inspirational message for today, and it ties into what Lexi said about social media, is to make room. Make room for, distancing yourself from the social media aspect of life. Not everything you see is true on social media. And it's also not good for your physical health or your mental health. So, and I know with this month being mental health awareness, even though every month should really be mental health awareness, it's important that you have that conversation with your young people. That you don't really monitor the activity, but monitor their time. And also kind of, just, I don't know, be present with them. Even if they're not doing the same thing, just be present with them, be honest with them, and sometimes you just have to check in on them. Lexi, you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, make room. That's someone said that's a word in the lung. Miss Lori A. Williams Wallace. Yeah, she said that's a word in the lung. It is, right? So you're trying to make room for everything that God has for you, but I can't do that if I'm so crowded and confined to things of the society or what the world wants for me, right? So yeah. Right. And Miss Deborah Johnson said, be present. And it's about being present in the moment. I want the things that God has for me, and He has the plans to prosper and fulfill these things in my life. But I can't do that if I'm so confined by this relationship or anything that ain't working for me. Oh, see, I'm doing call out today. I'm gonna call it out today. Come on.
Hey, I know you a preacher's kid, but you're a little personal right now.
Careful, right. The relationships, the jobs, the financial issues, you so worried and stressed about that you ain't got time to give honor and glory to the person who gave it to you in the first place, because you so caught up on the blessing in the first place, you forgot to give Him glory, so He can't even give you what you had planned for you in the first place. See, there's so much more greater for people. They don't realize it. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna get caught up.
Come on with it.
I'm gonna get caught up. See, because he is great. There's greater on the inside of you. So with their greater on the inside of you, nobody can tell you what you can and cannot do. But you let people tell you what you can and cannot do, putting you at a line and a limit when God has so much like greater, so many more things for you in store. So like I can't even like put it into words sometimes. I just get so excited. It's like, why are you not seeing? Like you're on the brink of something so big. And because you won't make room for what God has for you, you won't make room for taking care of yourself. You won't make room just for the bigger things, the bigger plans, because you're so caught up on what everybody else wants for you. You can't do what God needs you to do in the first place. You need to be a faithful servant and take care of yourself first. Then you can take care of everybody else. That's my word. Thank you. Make room. Close.
Thank you, preacher. Thank you, preacher. Is there one today who is going to make room and is going to be present and not let the opinions of others determine your greatness that was already set in you? Is there one today who will come on and say, I choose to make room. I choose what God has planned for me and not what the world wants me to be? Is there one today?
Is there one? Come on.
Is there one? Well, this was our news and motion today. You know what we do here on Thursdays. This is our Friday Eve. Also, there will be no news and motion on Monday, as with Memorial Day. So take that time for yourself. Take that time for your family. Take that time to connect with some friends. There will be no news on Monday, but we will be back on Tuesday. We will be back on Tuesday with That's Happening Tuesday. But enjoy your long weekend. Y'all be safe. Have fun. Be present. Make room. And on behalf of me and Lexi, we will see you all next week. We the young people. And y'all know what we do here. We make some bold moves. We out.
Do, 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 do.